Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video we're going to talk getting started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and today we're going to take a look at the Disciples of Tzeentch, and in particular the Eternal Conflagration sub-faction of the army. In this video we're going to go through talk about the rules for the Internal Conflagration for the army, and then we'll take a look at a couple of units we recommend to start out with, and then looking at a couple of units to expand upon after those initial purchases. Finally, we'll finish off the video with a little sample army list of 1,000 points for you to use as some inspiration for creating your own Disciples of Tzeentch army for the Eternal Conflagration sub-faction. And so, to start with, you can find the rules for this sub-faction in the Disciples of Tzeentch Battle Tome, the brand new Battle Tome that will be coming out this coming weekend, if you're watching at the time of posting. Now, the rule we get with this particular sub-faction is we can improve the Ren characteristic of friendly units' Warp Flame, Billowing Warp Flame, and Magical Flame missile weapons for the units by 1. Now, this is a bunch of weapons that are on a variety of different models. Generally, these will be rules on your Tzeentch demons. So, you have things like Flamers, your Burning Chariots, your Horrors, a lot of your characters like the Fluxmaster and stuff like that all have these types of shooting attacks. Now, this is pretty cool because you get to add them to their missile weapons, so you can definitely build a Tzeentch demon shooting army that shoots out lots of different flaming weapons. And so to start with, we're going to take a look at the Fate Skimmer Herald of Tzeentch. Now, this is the herald that sits atop the Burning Chariot of Tzeentch, as you can see pictured here. And you've got a decent model. You've got a good amount of wounds, 8, which is nice under that sort of 10 wound threshold, but also, you know, enough to sort of make it survivable. And you've also got a decent amount of attacks, both from shooting with its magical flames, which will go obviously up to Ren 2 instead of Ren 1, and then you've got a bunch of melee weapons in there as well. It's a 1 cast and 1 unbind wizard, which is nice, 14-inch move and a 4-up save as well, is all pretty solid. Now, you do have an ability where you can do some mortal wounds with its Wake of Fire, where after it's made a normal move, retreat, or run move, you can choose to pick an enemy unit that is passed across, and on 2+, they'll suffer D3 mortals. Now, it's got its own spell called Tzeentch's Firestorm, which it casts on a 9+ and has a range of 9-inch. It does D3 mortal wounds on the roll, which is really cool, for each enemy unit that is within that 9-inch range. Now, to go alongside this model, we have picked the Horrors of Tzeentch. Now, Horrors of Tzeentch are interesting because they come in a variety of different forms. You have the pink horrors you can see in the larger picture, but also the blue and brimstone horrors there as well in the smaller picture. Now, they've got a bunch of different cool abilities, and none more so iconic than the split and split again rule. What happens is pink horrors split into 2 blue horrors, and a blue horror then splits into 2 brimstones, but the brimstones are on the same base, so it's actually 1 base of blue for 1 base of brimstone. You can see pictured there, there's 2 brimstones on each base though. But this means you've got a fantastic amount of wounds worth of models, which really does sort of amp up your wounds and make something look like maybe not a lot of wounds. You'll see this in the army list down the end, but you'll have a lot more. Every unit of 10 pink horrors also has 20 blue and 20 brimstone horrors in there, so 50 wounds from 10 models is just insane. Now, this does mean they can be generally quite expensive on the tabletop, but they do pack out their own attacks as well, where they're going to contribute a decent amount with their magical flames to the fight. Now, of course, we're going to look at the variety of different flamers after this on where to expand next. So, flamers come in 3 different varieties, and you can get 2 of these in the same kit. So if you've built that Fate Skimmer on your chariot already, you actually get an Exalted Flamer already to have on foot, which is really cool. Exalted Flamers can put out a decent amount of damage into your enemies with their nice shooting profile, giving them a lot of damage output. Now, you've got the Burning Chariot of Tzeentch, which is a chariot version, and this has the Exalted Flamer on top of it as well. So both of these units can pack out a ton of shooting damage with, and thanks to the sub-factions buff -2 and generally D3 damage on a lot of their stuff. What's cool about the Chariot and the Burning Chariot of Tzeentch is it's got that movement on there as well, and a 4+ save, which is really nice as well. You also have the regular flamers as well. These come in units of 3 and can pack out, like their exalted friends, a ton of different firepower. Now, the flamers are really nice. They can be quite expensive and a little bit flimsy at times, but they do pack out a ton of heat onto enemy models, which is really, really fun stuff. Now, the last thing to talk about with the Disciples of Tzeentch is indeed the endless spells. Now, Disciples of Tzeentch have a really cool sub-faction ability where they can choose to cast an endless spell from a wizard at the start of the game, so you almost always want to include a Disciples of Tzeentch endless spell in your list. I particularly like the Burning Sigil of Tzeentch, which allows you to turn models that are around it into Chaos Spawn that can be really great for locking up enemy units, stopping your opponent being able to either charge you or make Overwatch. Generally, this is a really good distraction endless spell, enabling you to pour in the fire, literally, with your flamer units and do the damage, meanwhile tying your enemy up and not allowing them to shoot back. And so here we have our sample army list for the Disciples of Tzeentch using the Eternal Conflagration Change Coven. Now, Mortal Realm Mon, because it's all the narrative there. And the grand strategy, we've actually got Master of Destiny. I really like this grand strategy for Disciples of Tzeentch. What this means is you have to have an amount of your unspent fate dice at the end of the game totaling 9. Can be a pretty easy one to ensure. Now, Leo-wise, we've gone for the Fate Skimmer Herald of Tzeentch on Burning Chariot, who's got the Nexus of Fate command trait. What this does is at the start of the hero phase, if your general's on the battlefield, you can roll a dice. If you do so, you can replace one of your Destiny dice with the roll. Really good if you've got that Master of Destiny trait there at the end. Now, you've got also the Nine-Eyed Tome. This allows this particular wizard to reroll all casting, unbinding, and dispelling attempts. And then we've gone for Law of Change, Fold Reality, where if it has a casting value of 7 and a range of 18, it successfully cast, you pick a friendly Tzeentch demon unit wholly within range, invisible to the caster, and roll a dice. On a 1, that unit is destroyed. On a 2+, you can return a number of slain models equal to the roll to the unit. So, you can remove your own units, but you can also heal flamers back to a unit. Speaking of flamers, we have a unit of 3 of them in our battle line, along with 10 pink horrors and a Burning Chariot of Tzeentch. We then have 10 blue horrors of Tzeentch in there as another unit, filling out and giving us some more bodies on the table. And we've got the Burning Sigil of Tzeentch as an endless spell in the army as well. Lastly, we've wrapped up the entire army in a battle regiment. For me, when you're playing a shooting army like this, that is a little bit light on wounds. It says 40 here, but don't forget we've got pink horrors there, so they do have, a lot more wounds. There's actually another 40 wounds in the army just on those pinks. But when you're playing something so light on wounds that relies on shooting, I like to go with the battle regiment, be one drop, be able to dictate and choose who's going to go first in the game. I think it's really important when you're playing a shooting army. But that is our army for the Eternal Conflagration. Let us know what you think down in the comments below and how you're going to run your own Eternal Conflagration army. And so that is the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our cool little community here at Sinful Gaming, you can do so in our Discord server, which is linked down in the video's description. If you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so either by joining our Patreon or YouTube members, both of which are linked in the video's description, or going over to our channel merch store and grabbing some channel merch for yourself. We'd like to give our Patreons and YouTube members a special shout out for helping support the channel and allowing us to keep doing what we're doing. So a special thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lowe, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising 8, Cure Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Derek and Bloobs, and to our YouTube members as well, Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle and Davis Weir. And a special thank you to Lady Witchfox at the end here, because she does all the amazing artwork for the channel. It looks stunning. with that said, thank you all for watching. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.